Hey, hey, here we are again on the ChrissieCast, live from the compound, where every single week I catch up with 4 of my great friends, plus interesting people from all over the world, all from the comfort of my cozy little home. And you've always got an open invitation. Just don't expect me to always be wearing a bra. Actually, or undies for that matter. The wheel of conversation has once again landed on the multi-talented Ash Williams. And in today's episode, we discuss the pros and cons of Steak Dianne. We are schooled on how Ash got the nickname of Meaty. And I reveal how I single-handedly ruined Christmas for hundreds of fancy families. We are going in hard, ChrissieCasters. Here's Ash. Welcome back to the ChrissieCast, Ash Williams.
Yo, Chrissy.
I got to ask, have you heard from that Russian woman who you talked about on the last episode?
I have. We are very happy together. And
so great. You'll be a wonderful father.
Yeah. Yeah. No. She's cool. She's a great person.
Great. So it ended up well.
We're still Facebook friends. Let's put it that way.
We have been talking about on this podcast self-care, and it's come up that I don't like the term self-care. It sounds poxy. I like the concept of self-care, looking after yourself, but there's something about the term self-care that just makes, I don't know, makes it sound like you need something from the Mother's Day stall to make it happen, you know? Do men believe in self-care?
Yes, but it's not called, I wouldn't call it self-care.
What do you call it?
Like, me would never call it me time either.
No, you wouldn't.
You just go, I'm just doing this. It's not under any banner.
Yeah.
But, sauna, ice bath.
Yeah, you're big on it. You're big on I'm doing this.
Definitely, because it becomes part of your routine and you know that it's important to get the most out of yourself.
Yeah.
Not just energetically, but creatively, personally, professionally.
I've just realised why it's a female thing is because we have to really make time for it because we're doing so much for other people all the time.
Yes.
That's what it is.
There you go.
Because I was wondering, why is self-care all about women? You never hear about self-care for men, and it's because of the mental load. That's what it is. That's a light bulb moment, as Oprah would say. Yeah,
but it has become bigger in the men's world. I know that they're very different, the men's self-care versus the women's, but the men's is more just because men never used to do anything or would never discuss it.
Yeah.
So there is a little bit more of a light on it.
Yes.
But
is that what all those cyclists are doing, do you think? Maybe. It's self-care.
Yeah, it is. It is self-care. It's you get a few things from cycling. I would never do it. It's bonding, it's community. You get a workout, you get the endorphins. You also get time away from your family. Very important. And cycling's a big one. They go on very long rides, similar to golf. Those guys who just play golf all day. I crave time alone, no doubt about it. But golf, to me, is a step too far. I couldn't do it. It's like 6 hours. I can't commit to anything for that amount of time. Really, I can't. I could talk to you for 6 hours, but that's about it. Yeah, but golf has got a few different levels to it. So there's the golf, there's the travelling to the golf, there's the beers during or definitely after.
But it's a whole day.
That's what I'm saying. It's a whole day. It's expensive too. You can spend $200, $300. So the round is about 100, depending on where you play. And then the beers, it's about $250 just for a day. I've got a guy I won't play with because he loves to just send it. He just drink, and it's I spent $300 on a really ordinary day. It's not worth it.
No. What would you, if you had $300, what would you spend it on? What is your perfect day?
Oh, it's a great question.
What is it? Take me through it.
Well, I think it starts with some work. I think it's always good to, if you're a creative person, to create. So you would do that. I'd probably do a workout first thing in the morning.
Yes.
Then I'd go to my office and do 2 hours work. Let's say 90 minutes.
Like writing
just writing ideas.
Oh, God, this sounds heaven.
Right, and then it would be breakfast with a friend.
Yes.
And you know what's funny? My brain just then said, how about a round of golf? But no,
Oh, no.
I'm like, no, you're trying to make a point that golf isn't in it. But no,
golf is not in this.
you know what? Maybe you go and see something. So it's always good to go, whether it's sport or you go and see a performance.
Yeah.
I'd like to have dinner. You know
Yep.
what? You've got to have more than this.
What would you have for dinner in your perfect day?
Steak, medium rare,
Fries.
Scotch fillet, fries, a beautiful salad.
And on the side, are you a mustard guy or a béarnaise?
I like the pepper steak sauce
Yes.
with mustard.
Yes.
And
Do you know what I recently had?
Yeah.
I went out with my dad and I ordered the steak and it had a list of sauces. And generally, I don't like a sauce. I'm a mustard girl.
Oh,
And I'll have 3 or 4 different mustards if they're going, and I'll just have a little.
what's your favourite mustard?
Well, I really love hot English.
Yes.
I like a very good seeded
Yep.
mustard, and I also like horseradish and horseradish cream on my steak.
Okay.
Mwah. Chef's
Yes.
kiss. But I was feeling dangerous this day.
Okay.
And Dad was paying. And I ordered the Dianne sauce, steak Dianne, a classic 70s, and it was delicious. I think it was like creamy, brandy, Worcestershire, like a classic 70s sauce.
Oh.
And I really recommend it next time for you on your steak.
Well, they don't do steak Dianne at everywhere.
Ask for it.
Okay.
Ask for it by name.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of what my perfect day would be.
Yes, go on.
I would wake up early, and I do that anyway because if I get up, like today I got up at 5 in the morning, and the first thing I do, I open my eyes and I realise it's still dark and it's 5 a.m. and I've got an hour and a half before I have to be a mother,
Yep.
which of course is the greatest gift I've ever been given. But I do miss myself still.
I honestly don't know how you do it, parents. Like I haven't got kids, and
You've got nieces,
Yeah,
so
I-
you've got probably more insight than you ever had before as a
yeah, I
single
do.
mover and shaker.
Yeah, no, I do, and I'm exhausted after an hour. Like definitely, just like the constant, kind of entertaining they need,
Yeah.
and you're like, I'm out.
Yeah.
We've got another guy coming on. I'm going to bring your dad back. How does that sounds good?
I know, but
You
it
love him?
never ends. It's
Exactly.
extraordinary.
So like, and you look at parents, and a lot of them are very exhausted, and like, yeah, it is the greatest gift in the world, but it's also, is it the biggest job in the world?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
Well, because it's so consuming of your heart and soul. I take parenting very seriously, and sometimes I wish that I didn't, because the concern and love I have for these 3 people is overwhelming. It colours every decision. And I think that's why I like to get up early, because it's a little break
Yeah.
from, trying to make someone's life really meaningful.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Oh no, being like mums and dads, but like you're very lucky if you have one parent who is just like the best,
Yeah.
and I don't think it ever stops. Like you, as you get older, you see how your mum or your dad behaves, and they're still putting it through that filter.
Yes.
You're still their baby boy or baby girl,
Yeah.
and
How is Jen? Let's talk about Jen.
mum is good. Mum is good.
God, I love that woman. I just love her.
No, she's a good person.
She really is. And you've been living with her for years now.
No. Let's settle down. I'm moving out. I've been living there for about two years.
No,
2.5, 3.
closer to 4.
Get stuck. No.
It is. It's closer to 4. There's nothing wrong with it.
No.
I see no shame,
Hang on.
by the way.
No,
Also,
it was 2021. So 2, 3. It's 3 years. Thank you very
coming
much.
up to 4.
Next year, coming up to 4. Thank you.
No, this year.
This is the 4th
You're into
year.
the
It's
4th.
3.
Yeah. So as I said, coming up
Cheers.
to 4. But I don't see any shame in it. And I think, yes, you are a grown man, 40-year-old man, 41?
Coming up to 34. No, it's
And I think it's wonderful for both of you.
Well, this is the thing. So this stand-up show that I did I was kind of putting some bits together, and that's kind of the arc of the show.
Yep.
It's about moving back with mum and all of the funny stories that happen, but also all of the beauty that is embedded in that
Yes.
you didn't realise was there.
And what an extraordinary opportunity for you, because generally, we're done in the child mother role in our 20s, for example.
Yeah.
And then you've had a chance to come back as two adults. I mean, it's really magical.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And we don't really ever have a disagreement.
No.
Like occasionally over the TV, because like mum only has one TV, and it's like not a live TV. It's literally live. There's no stop.
It's like a 1980s television experience.
Like, you want to see it, you got to come run into the lounge room now.
Yeah.
And mum, I don't know. She likes watching a lot of rubbish, and I'm just like, come on, let's change the channel.
So you've got no kind of streamers or...
I can watch it on my phone. I'm not home a lot, but yeah, I'm moving out, Swanee.
When? Why?
It's time. It's time, mate.
How does Jen feel about that?
She's pumped. Even though I do the
Who's
lawn.
she going to leave notes to paint the furniture?
I've still got work to do. I'll still be like working there.
Did you ever paint that
No.
bench? No.
No. I've got to paint the bench. She's been asking me to paint this bench for about... Well, it's been 4 years.
Yeah.
And it's always on the notes she leaves. You know how mums write notes on
Yes.
envelopes?
Yes, always. And you know what? I used to live in fear of the envelope note. My mum was mad for it. And they were comprehensive and they were long.
Yeah.
And I would get home from school and I didn't want to do bloody anything. But there was a long list.
Yeah.
And absolutely, I do not do that as a mother.
No.
I will not write a list of stuff to do. In fact, if I'm ever writing on an envelope, I write, and you can back me up, Marcel. Occasionally you'll see, "Good morning, my darlings. Have a beautiful day. Love, Mum."
Yeah.
I am the antithesis of a nasty chore list envelope writer.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it sounds like my mum's chore lists were nicer than your mum's.
I'd say so.
Yeah. I've actually got some mum texts.
Oh, great.
So,
And the great thing about it is, even if you do move out, you'll still get the texts.
for sure, I'll get more.
All right, give it to me.
So, these aren't meant to be funny. These are just texts that mum sends because she thinks I should know this.
Yes. Brunk.
You should shop at Aldi. It's cheaper.
I mean, facts.
That's it.
Facts.
It's again, it's like a little TED Talk tweet is what it is.
Did you know that Aldi now have their own merch?
Oh,
I've got an Aldi tracksuit
get out of here.
and I'm not afraid to use it.
Whoa. All right, I'm going to check that out.
Stunning. Do you shop at Aldi?
No.
Does Jen?
Oh, big time. She's mad for it. She prefers Aldi. I don't, for some reason, I like Coles. I think it goes back to when I worked at Coles. Because going back to it.
You're a company man, Ash.
Well, previously you said you had a bit of a crush on someone at school.
Yeah.
The three most gorgeous girls in the whole world when I was growing up all worked at this Coles on Glenferrie Road. They were MLC girls, right?
Yeah.
And I said to my mate, I said, I'm going to start working at Coles. Okay. Because I am in love. And also we would go to the checkout and buy like a Freddo or a pack of extra and like just not say anything.
See,
And it's like-
it was such great times.
And then you walk out and you got your chocolate buddy. Oh my God, she's looking good too. She's so beautiful. And you're just like, oh mate, I can't wait to get back there tomorrow. And then you're like, wouldn't it be amazing if you got paid to work there? It was like Willy Wonka's chocolate. Like I'm going to get a job.
Yes.
I'm going there. So I used to walk.
And did you infiltrate the lioness's den?
Well, so I went in there and I used to speak to the boss there called Danny and walked in with my resume maybe, and I just walked in and you go see the boss. You walk up these stairs and
Yes,
he goes,
I remember the old Coles there.
He goes, what do you want to do, mate? What can you do? And I go, mate, anything. I'd love to work in the checkout. He goes, checkout's harder than it looks, brother. I said,
Well, yeah, at those days you had to pump in the numbers.
He goes, you good with your maths? And I said, absolutely. He said, look, I'll keep it in mind. Nothing for you. I go, if it's okay with you, I'll be back next week to ask. I'll do anything. Right, so I was tenacious. I turned up again the next week. Danny, because I'd been there the previous week, the guy goes, just go straight up, mate. So I walk in, hey, Danny. He goes, mate, you're back. Nothing for you. And I go, yeah, cool, mate. All good, all good.
So how old are you now? It's 16. Yeah,
16.
fresh.
So then I said, mate, I'll be back next week.
Yeah.
Okay, because it was win-win. I got to see Danny and I got to see the checkout girls.
Yeah.
I'd buy a Crunchie and
yeah, and you had a purpose
you felt
of being
like
there.
You worked there.
Yeah, you weren't just like, hi.
Right?
Yeah.
And I still remember it so vividly. And then the third week,
What about the excitement when you walked through the doors, not knowing who was working and she was working, and you just go, oh, God, I'm so excited.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Because
What a
even
moment.
her friend who was gorgeous would be working and like you'd be excited, but at least you could breathe.
Yeah.
You'd go, well, she's still gorgeous, but I'm not in love with her. So I can probably breathe a bit.
Yeah.
And I can say thank you.
And then would you look around all the aisles thinking maybe she's stacking shelves or something? Like maybe they've coordinated their shifts together?
It did happen once when I thought she wasn't working and then she was on a break and came back. I almost fell over, yeah.
Oh, my God.
And then third week I go, Danny. And he goes, listen, mate, you really are a tenacious bugger. What are you doing this afternoon? And I said,
I'm working here, Danny.
nothing. And he goes, do you want to clean the meat room? And I go, yes, I do.
Did
And
you
he goes,
say-
have you ever cleaned the meat room? I said, no. And he goes, that's good enough for me. You go down there, brother. There's an apron. Okay, be careful. I said, no worries. Remember, this is 1998.
Yeah.
Far out, mate. The OH&S on that thing. I had no idea. I almost lost both my hands in the first 5 minutes. Machines going off. It's like, yeah, you got to turn that off before you clean it, brother. I'm like, no one told me. I had no training. I'm going in there. I'm cleaning it. I finish. I'm dragging out like pigs, mate. I'm dragging out blood. I'm getting $50 for 3 hours before tax, right? And I'm dragging it through. Back in those days, you got to drag it through Coles. And the checkout girls saw me, right? I'm in the boots and the secondhand apron, covered. It wasn't even a new apron. It was one of the butchers. They're like looking at me, and I'm like thinking, giving like, yeah, you like that? I work here now. And then
You would have had a name tag. Maybe you just borrowed one from the staff room. So it was like, hi, my name's Ralph.
No, because I was out the back.
Oh, you were not even there.
No, I definitely didn't get a name tag. And like occasionally you'd be able to get a free Crunchie just from out the back, which was good times. And then I remember I lasted 3 months and then I was just like...
What, in the meat room for 3 months?
Every Sunday I did it for 3 months.
Carrying out carcasses?
No, so I'd clean the machines, clean all the mince and stuff, do the dishes because there were no dishwashers, weirdly. I did some crazy gross things.
Is that the hardest job you've ever had? That sounds really hard.
It was terrible. It was satisfying though. I remember looking at the meat room after I cleaned it and going, it's pretty damn clean. But of course there were shortcuts. I knew the shortcuts pretty quickly. You just wouldn't wash the floor as much if you.
Did you have to wear gumboots?
Yep. It was disgusting, right? But I was there.
Did you smell?
Yep. So then,
wow,
I quit.
I had no idea.
So how's this, right? I quit after back in that job. You didn't need to quit. You just didn't show up, right?
Did the girls work Sundays or just after school?
No, they worked Sundays. So they saw me.
Sundays were
It was good.
time and a
But
half.
again, I was like, I had a lot of work to do. That room wasn't going to clean itself. I remember I would allow myself a bit of work-life balance, and I'd do one lap to see the girls. Even though, but I remember I was like, I actually can't muck around. The meat room's filthy today. So then I quit, or again didn't show up. And about 3 months later, I was at a party.
Yeah.
And the girls were at this house party.
Yeah.
And I was like, going over. And I said,
How's
hey,
Danny? How's Danny going?
I go,
Does he
hey,
miss me?
Well, yeah, you girls might not know me, but you work at Coles, yeah? Mm. And then there was Emma, Alice, I think it was Megan. There was a Beck. There was like 4 of them, right? And they're like, Meaty's here. It's Meaty. And I'm like, sorry, what? And they're like, you're Meaty. We call you Meaty. You're the meat room guy. Oh. Meaty. And I'm like, I'm not Meaty. I'm Ash. No, you're Meaty. You're Meaty. And then I was like, okay, cool, I'm happy to be Meaty. And then like I got to know them pretty well, and I was Meaty. They would just call me Meaty. I can be walking down the street to this day and I'll get like a Meaty. If I see them in the street or
You're still Meaty.
to those 4 or 5 girls who worked at Coles, Meaty.
I love that.
Yeah. So that's where I think I think I'm still old school.
You said I quit and then you quickly said I just didn't show up. Is that what happened?
Yep.
You just didn't show up. Okay, so you and I have this in common. I also worked at a supermarket. And do you remember back in the day, supermarket doesn't exist anymore, Tucker Bag?
Of course.
Okay.
Which one? Middle Camberwell?
Armidale. No, Armidale.
I miss Tucker Bag.
So I had finished school, so I was old, you know, in comparison to Meaty.
Yeah.
And
How old?
18.
Yeah, right.
So I'd finished school.
Not that much older than Meaty.
No, but it feels older. Do you know what I mean? Like the difference between 16 and 18 back then is so much.
Yeah, you're senior. Yep.
Yeah. And plus I'd finished school and I had travelled to Japan for schoolies and lived there for 3 months, came back, started a course that I didn't really research and it was awful. So I couldn't do it. I couldn't do the course. And so I deferred after the first semester. And then my mum, in classic fashion, said, well, you can't do nothing. If you're not going to go to university, you've got to get a job. So I started working at Tucker Bag and I was working in the deli and I was stringing up chickens and I would open up a box of chicken bodies and they were all sort of swimming in a pale pink fluid and I would hook them up because I was the rotisserie bitch. And I would make a spear with little hooks on it and I would grab these little leaky bodies and slam their bodies on the hook and carry all of them over to the oven, and it was very full-on work. And I very quickly regretted my decision to defer university because it was hard. And my boss was awful. It was this guy and he just didn't like me, and I was working full-time.
Wow.
And so I saw a lot of him and he would bait me, right? And he would make jokes and stuff like funny and I would laugh. Then he'd go, shut up. And I was like, I'm just trying to,
What?
I'm just trying to be nice. Like,
You made a joke.
You made a joke and I laughed and he's like, just shut up. He was awful, right? It was terrible. It was terrible. Anyway, eventually I was sort of moved into the bakery. So I would work sometimes with the chickens, which was fresh hell, and it hasn't put me off chicken, by the way. And then I would also do the bakery because, you know, my first job was Baker's Delight. I know my way around a loaf. So these big commercial ovens, and it meant that I would have to get in there very, very early because bakers work early. And I wasn't making the bread. It all arrived cooked and frozen, and then you would have to get it out and lay it in these sort of divoted trays and cook it for a certain amount of time. And it was very, very popular. It was those, you know, sort of the beginning of supermarket French bread.
Yeah.
And I took it very seriously because I love bread. Christmas Eve. So I must have been there for a long time. If I deferred at the end of the first semester, I must have been at this job for full-time 6 months.
Yeah.
And I remember every lunchtime I would sit in the car park and chain smoke and eat a date slice that I bought from the deli.
Yeah.
It was not a great time for me.
Right.
My boss was mean to me. I was baking bread. Didn't know what I was going to do. Still only 18. How did we know what we were going to be then? Crunch time. It's Christmas. Summer. Beautiful weather. Still having to turn up and make the bread. Christmas Eve, 24th of December that year, 1992.
Right.
And I slept in. And it was Christmas Eve. So what does everybody need on Christmas Eve at Tucker Bag Armidale? They need bread for Christmas because everything's about to shut. It was due to start work at 5 a.m. I woke up at 8:30.
Whoa.
And I realised at that point that I was no longer employed. The entire suburb had no bread for Christmas because of me. And I never had a conversation with anybody about not coming back. I never told them I wasn't coming back. I think they knew and I knew that the sort of person that sleeps in on Christmas Eve and she's responsible for everybody's Christmas bread doesn't deserve a job at the supermarket.
Oh, my. But didn't they have a backup bread maker?
Nope. There was no bread that Christmas.
So-
So apologies. If you
Carry on.
had a very, a beautiful meal planned centered around a deliciously crusty French breadstick and you missed out that year, that is my fault and I take responsibility for that.
So did you not get a call on the home phone from the boss?
No, nothing.
He's not doing his job, is he? He's terrible. I mean, forget about making jokes and then someone laughs and he's like, shut up. I mean,
He
that's
was
the
awful.
opposite of it's an angle.
Maybe they just called him in. I don't even know what happened. By that stage, I was glad.
It's a beautiful thing about not being contactable back then.
Yes.
So you can't find me. I mean, turn up to my home, sure, but like I ain't coming back, dog.
No one's doing that.
No.
Although the personality of that supermarket manager, of that deli manager, it would have been like a scene from Silence of the Lambs. And he was just a camera following him as he knocks on my door and I answer. And he says, "Are you about a size 16? I say, "Yes."
And then you let him in and then you chuck him in the oven
Oh, my God.
and you eat him.
I did see him one time, about a year later. I was at a shopping centre in the same suburb. And it was one of those ones where the escalators cross over in the centre. It's like
Incredible.
It's like an open, you know the ones?
Yes.
The shops are sort of around the circular formation
Yep.
and the elevators are up the middle. Anyway, I was coming down and he was coming up.
Yep.
And I saw him first. He looked like a hedgehog come to life. And I saw him first. I was like, oh my God, that's that mean guy. Anyway, we're crossing. He's coming towards me. I'm coming towards him. And right at the cross point, we're actually next to each other, eye to eye. And he goes, "Oh, hello." And I said, "Fuck you."
Whoa.
And then there was nothing he could do. He was on an escalator and we just slowly moved away from each other. It was the most satisfying thing because the temptation to just be nice
Yeah, I love it.
is so strong. And I always do that. But I'd had a year to really marinate on how mean he was to me. And I had a chance to tell him to fuck off.
How long did you have before you saw him coming? Like, was it in the moment or you had like 5 seconds? Shit, it's this guy.
I saw him at the beginning of his escalator journey. It was a travelator. It was
Yeah.
flat ramp, the moving ramps.
Oh.
And I saw him coming the whole way.
Awesome.
And I thought, it's that moment where you're like, if he looks at me, am I going to say something? Will he look at me? Will he not? Will he recognize me? Will he,
I love it.
did he hate me as much as I thought he did? Do I hate him as much as I thought I did? The answer was yes in both cases.
Yeah. Fuck, that must have felt good.
It was very satisfying.
You don't get that, as you say, that very rarely happens in life where you get one shot, you've got the travelator helping you out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It jettisoned me away
Yeah.
from him. It was excellent.
He must have wondered what the hell was going on.
Well, yeah, I think
Because he might
in
not have thought he was that awful.
No, and that's the problem is, you don't know when you're hurting someone most of the time. But I think he did. He's a miserable old fuck.
Yeah, but if he's like that to everyone, you don't.
He might just be abrupt, and I'm a very literal person. I have thought about him a bit. I don't get sarcasm. That's a problem for me.
You don't get sarcasm.
No,
I think you do.
I don't think I do.
You do. You do. Absolutely.
No.
You do.
Maybe sometimes, but a lot of the time, my whole life I found myself going, are you joking? Like I have to clarify.
You worked with Sam Pang for a long time. He's pretty sarcastic and you laughed at
that's
almost
true.
all of his jokes.
That's true. You've made a liar of me.
Yeah. You don't work in radio for as long as you have without understanding sarcasm.
Okay. All right. I'll put that to bed then.
Oh, yeah, for sure. You want one more mum text?
Yep. Give me one more and then I'm going to tag you and release you back into the wild, Ash Williams.
You should put some towels in the wash today. It's going to be 30 degrees. A good day for drying. Translated, do some washing. It's just a really nice way. It's pretty passive aggressive, but
No, I'll tell you what that's saying. As a mother, which is one of the sentences I hate the most in the world, but if I sent that to my kids, it's not about do some washing, you lazy bastard. It is this. I'm not at home at the moment and I know that you are and it's going to be 30 degrees. This is a really good opportunity for you to enjoy the life-changing moment of a line-dried towel.
Yep.
That's what that's about, because there is nothing like it, the crunch and the scratch, and you can't achieve that in a dryer or a condenser dryer. That's what that's about. She loves you.
Thank you, Chrissy. Yeah, no doubt she loves me, but there's definitely, I know Mum pretty well too, and that is do some washing.
Ash Williams, ask me anything. You know me better than most.
Okay. Have you got a crush on anyone at the moment?
No.
Oh, boring answer.
I know, sorry.
Shit. When was the last person you had a crush on?
Honestly, I think probably 40 years ago.
That's not true.
I reckon it is.
No, it's not. Because I know guys you've had crushes on in the last few years.
What's define crush?
Someone you it's a yearn. Is it a yearn? It's a like, yes, I would love to catch up and get to know them more. Yes, come on, mate.
See, my definition of crush, I had crushes when I was a teenager, proper crushes. Like, I would make sure that I was walking up the hill to school when my crush was walking down the hill, so that we would just cross paths and maybe something would happen.
Oh, God, that was hot, yeah.
And I would wait for the tram and scan the tram to see if my crush was on the tram, and if he was, I would get on it.
Wasn't that the best?
Smelling like Norska.
Oh.
And Revlon Flex shampoo.
Oh.
Like the effort.
Yep.
Look, this sounds a bit stalky, but I would like find out where they lived.
Yes.
And like take flowers from their garden and then like contact that into my diary.
Lovely.
As a memento. None of these boys knew I existed.
Wow.
But I was, is that like obsessed? Maybe it is. It felt like a teenage crush to me. They were so beautiful. I just loved them, but they didn't know that I existed.
Did you ever have contact with any of the guys?
No.
You haven't even seen them like just in the street, over the last 30 years?
Yes. Okay, so one guy that I was really, I just loved him deeply, even though he didn't know that I existed. When I was doing The Circle on telly, I think I told somebody that it must have come up in conversation because we had like 17 hours a day to fill on live television.
Yeah.
It came up in conversation that, I used to just love this boy so much, and he was the one. His school was at the bottom of the hill and mine was at the top, and I would be walking up the hill and I would see on the horizon his school uniform, and I'm like, oh my God, it's him. And then he would occasionally wave to me, and it was like, if he waves at me from across the street, then, my life is made.
Yep, you can die happy.
Yeah, that was all I needed. So I just loved him so much. Shared this story on telly. And then, unbeknownst to me, the girls, Georgie and Yumi, and the producers organised for him to come on the show.
Whoa.
Yeah. And he was still gorgeous.
Whoa.
Yeah. And I was like schwitzing, like the heat of the studio, him, my embarrassment. I think I was pregnant as well at the time.
Oh, right.
And he was still every bit as gorgeous as I remembered, and nice. He was so lovely.
Was he single?
No.
Good.
Well, not that matters.
No, it does.
It doesn't.
Because if you weren't single and he was single and he's like, it's a real shame that you're not single, then you've got that like sliding doors moment. You're like, shit.
Ash, why would that man be interested in me then and not when I was at the height of my powers at 16?
You don't know. He might have been overawed by you. You don't know what goes on in his mind. He might have been shy then, unless you've got some evidence. I'm telling you, I just think you've got to remember that no matter what someone looks like and how gorgeous they may be, that doesn't mean that they have the confidence to match that look. So he might have liked you. You don't know.
Yeah, I do.
No, you don't.
I do.
Why?
Well, because nothing ever happened.
But you didn't do anything either. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like dancing classes back at school, right? And you're both on the edge. No one's dancing. And you're saying it's his fault because he didn't ask you to dance. Well, it's a little bit of a vice versa. Both of you didn't dance.
Yeah, but he was exquisite.
It doesn't matter.
And I was just a loser.
I'm sure you were exquisite.
No. At dancing classes, I got in trouble from my German teacher, Frau Heidu, because I would not take my jumper off in the middle of summer because my boobs were too big.
Wow.
That's where we were at as a teenager.
That's how you knew, because I went to a co-ed school. I went to Campbell High, year 7 and 8. And that's how you knew that a girl had really huge ones. The jumpers, I've never seen her without the jumper.
I always had my jumper.
Yeah. And don't think that didn't, it's cool. It's cool. I still remember because over at Campbell High, there was this girl, right? Always wore a jumper. Stunning. This is actually mean. Listen to this, right? So 2 girls are like, I'm just going to name it. Her name's Tori, right? Hot, right? They're like, hey, Ash. And I was like a late developer. I was like still a high-pitched kid in year 7. No hair. All those guys had like hair all over their legs. I'm like still like a kid.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, hey. And they're like, Tori.
Take your jumper off, Tori.
Well, no, I was just like, I just ran the footy tipping in the class and kind of played sport. And I remember like in our class, they were like, 2 of the girls were like, oh, the note came to me.
Yeah.
And it said, Tori has a crush on you. And I'm like thinking, fuck yes, this is fucking huge. Wow, didn't see that coming. And I think I showed my mate. I'm like, mate, what? And then it said like, meet Tori, at the cafeteria at lunchtime.
Yeah.
And I think I said to my mate, like, do I go on my own? And he's like, yeah, on your own. On your own. You've got to keep it classy. This could be a date.
Yes.
Went on my own, waited all lunch. She never showed.
What?
Never showed. And then it was all a joke. It was a prank. Yeah, I'm serious. Yeah. And then I remember I went back to class.
Oh, my God. I can just see you with your spiked hair at the cafeteria.
I wasn't that upset. I was more just like disappointed in what could have been. I was like, I didn't think Tori would be like that.
Did she write the note or was it somebody else's prank?
So Tori was complicit, no doubt, but it wasn't her brainchild. One of the other girls was definitely running it. She was the puppet master. She was cacking. She had one of the best days of her life that day. She was cacking herself.
Do you know who that girl is?
Can't remember. But I remember.
Do you know Tori still?
I'd spot her in the street.
Do you know her surname?
If I heard it, I'd remember it. But again, I wasn't like upset. I was like, just like, fuck, I was close. It's better than nothing. But ironically, it brought me closer to Tori because Tori was like sorry about it. She's like, I'm really sorry. I didn't really want to partake in it. Sorry again. And I was just like.
And did you end up having a little kiss with Tori?
Nope. No. But it was good development. It was a good experience. And I left that school because of that. No.
As usual, a pleasure, Ash Williams. See you next time.
Thanks, Swanee.
Well, I just got a text from Ash's mum telling me to wear thermals under my tracksuit because a cold snap is coming. Thanks, Jen. Ash can be found on Insta at AshWilliams1 and I can be found at the ChrissieCast. Your messages are like sunshine to me, so please slide in, why don't you? Claire did just that and always wanted to know what my fave mayo was. Obviously, it's Tommy. Got any questions? Tough ones, like mayo ones, send them all to me and I'll get them answered. Next episode is a rip snorter live from my place via California. Call your tattooist in advance. Till then, have a great week, ChrissieCasters. Mwah.